Welcome to Forest Not Chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul Vandermeer, and in today's episode, I'm talking with Gaye McBride about being a hypnotist. Gaye studied to be a hypnotist in 2007 in Las Vegas, stage hypnotist, in fact, and is still being a hypnotist today. Welcome to Forest Not Chat, Gaye.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity, Paul. I really appreciate being able to share the journey and the benefits of hypnosis.
That's wonderful. We met at the Indie Author Book Fair, and you've got a couple of books that you've got on the go as well that touch a little bit on hypnosis. Is that right?
Absolutely. So my second book, A Charm Path, is Wellbeing with Hypnosynergy, Hypnosis and Reiki.
There you go. So it's like right on target for this. So if you want to read about it, there's an option for you.
Absolutely.
It says hypnotist on the box. What actually is hypnosis, I guess?
Hypnosis is an altered state of mind where you can reach the best parts of yourself to bring about balance, freedom and well-being consciously. When you walk about, all the ideas and everything that happens to you comes through the critical factor of the conscious mind. When you work in hypnosis, you work with a subconscious mind. So it's like having a head brain and a tummy brain. Basically, what happens is you use your tummy brain for a wee while in hypnosis to override and release and just get yourself back on track, basically, to better health and confidence and better well-being. Yeah.
All right. So you've got the two brains, so to speak. So the conscious brain is all the thinking that you do and the things that you recognise that you are doing.
Yes.
And then the subconscious is the suite of things that you don't recognise that you're doing, the things that have become a part of you over time. Is that right?
Yeah, actually how it was best explained was your subconscious mind and conscious mind. If you could imagine a picture of an iceberg and the tip of the iceberg out of the water, the tip of the iceberg is the conscious mind. The size of the iceberg under the water is the subconscious mind, where everything that comes through the critical factor of the conscious mind settles into the subconscious. Now, your gut feeling is the most protective and the best part of you, which is what is really nice about working with hypnosis because it's very safe and beneficial. But what happens is over time, life and experiences and emotions, they can come through the conscious mind and get stuck in the subconscious, and then it gets a bit out of balance. For some people, it goes into overdrive and causes anxiety and stress-related issues and health issues. For others, it can tip you just enough so you can't really trust that gut feeling. What I do with hypnosis with my clients is I seek to free them up if I can, to help them release, heal and resolve whatever emotions are causing the imbalance, which is very gentle and powerful in hypnosis. And that sets the playing field even again so that you can move forward in a much better way with the conscious and the subconscious. Every part of us is important, but I think modern health is only tapping into this gut health recently, which is something that we've known about forever. And most people know about forever. When you're really little, your feelings are stronger than your thoughts. You pick up on who's nice and who's not nice real quick through your tummy. That's your subconscious mind looking after you. So it's really important that after a lifetime of experience, or even when you're very little, that you keep it in a good place of balance and strength and well-being.
So that sounds like your subconscious can become contaminated by what you put in it via your conscious mind?
Yeah, it can actually. It can get to a stage where, as I said, it goes into overdrive and then you can have panic attacks and anxiety. I see a lot of clients with addiction and anxiety issues because whether it's through choice or whether it's through happening, it's got a bit out of balance and it's a little bit harder to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Whereas when you bring everything into balance, it's much easier to have a healthy lifestyle. And perhaps it's good to note that the hypnosis that I do with clients is a form of hypnosynergy. So it's a form of hypnosis and energy work. So while I'm using hypnosis to work with the subconscious mind and the best parts of you, I also use a Reiki energy to balance the mind, body, spirit, emotion, and even the energy around a client, because everything's affected, everything's connected. Got to get it all into the right spot to make it work well.
Yeah, that's the knee bone's connected to the hip bone that's connected to the...
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're dealing with it on the energy connections rather than the physical connections.
Absolutely. Energy connection as well as mind, body, spirit and emotion, because any issues that crop up with people usually don't come from one source. Like, it's very simple but very complicated. It's that old everything's connected. So it's important for me to use hypnosis, especially to help people heal and release emotions that might be causing blocks or fears or holding them back from being the very best version of themselves they can be, which is very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. To help people to get to that best person that they can be, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because the person feels good about that too, doesn't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
When you're going through this, initially you'd been doing stage hypnosis, but are people getting into a different state of mind?
When you're in hypnosis, you're in that theta state, which is different from the alpha state that your conscious mind is in, and there are a few other states in there as well. Basically, it's a deep relaxation where you can access, as I said, the best parts of someone to bring about more permanent and positive change than you could if you were just talking to them consciously. However, it's simple and it's complex. And so even while you're talking to somebody consciously, you can still speak to the subconscious and assert change, positive change, which is really good. I did get into the stage hypnosis in 2007. I had a girlfriend call me when I was living in New Zealand, and she asked me to guess what she was doing, and I did. It was going to America, and I ended up going with her and learnt stage hypnosis. And then I went back to New Zealand and did a clinical hypnotic course, which I believe is what we were going to look at as how you get there. I took a very different route to most of my colleagues because I didn't do one whole training. I did lots of little trainings with very famous people from all over the world, which I feel very blessed to have done.
So rather than having one teacher, you've had multiple teachers and been able to assimilate, I guess, the best from each?
Absolutely. Yep, definitely. And I also came across a formula that works extremely well. So as much as I learnt heaps, and I'm very grateful for it, I did stick to a particular formula which seems to bring about amazing change in my clients. So you can't guarantee it with everybody because we have the human element, but for the past 15, nearly 20 years, I guess, I've had a lot of people make a lot of positive change in one session, 1 or 2 sessions. So it's been incredible.
That's amazing that they can change so much in such a short amount of time.
Especially when some of them feel that they've had lifetimes of issue and many issues in one lifetime that perhaps before doing hypnosis they thought they would never be able to shift, and were pleasantly surprised that it's not easy for everyone, but it is pretty easy. It's fairly simple. So
that's interesting because you do see people repeating patterns in their life. Is that a good indicator of a potential? You know, people who always pick partners that are a particular type that are usually not good for them, that sort of thing?
Yes, so that, I suppose what I love about hypnosynergy and the hypnosis and the Reiki is it's all about being the very best version of yourself and balanced. And you can't change what happens to people, but you can change the way that they react to it. And in some instances, you can change what happens to people if they heal what the emotions around what they need to that attract them to those partners and people. If they heal themselves, and as corny as it sounds, if they love themselves, then they attract the best to themselves because that's what they would want for everyone else. So when they actually decide that's what they want for themselves, life does change. And that vibration that we sit in after hypnosis can change as well because it's usually higher, and then you attract better as well.
Right, so higher vibration level is good.
I feel it is. I like to stay in the higher vibration.
So let's have that discussion about how do you get into it. You talked about having a different journey into hypnosis than others. How did that play out?
So I fell into it, Paul, literally. As I said, that delightful girlfriend of mine was a clinical hypnotherapist, and she rang me up, and when she said, guess what I'm doing? And then she said she was going to Las Vegas to learn it. I thought she was quite mad. And as I'd just moved to New Zealand, I thought I would be quite mad to join her. But, you know, the better part of me decided it would be a good idea. So before I could change my mind, I was there. I was very fortunate to work with an incredible teacher. He is still working today, I think. He used to go into the schools and help students with confidence and freedom from anxiety and addiction and everything. And he used to do that by first doing the stage shows, entertainment for the young people. So I also learnt stress management for corporate while I was there through him as well. So it was a good grounding, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that stage hypnosis is more than clucking like a chook. It's a lot more. And learning hypnosis, I was pleasantly surprised that, you know, when there are people with integrity and honesty and good values, they can make exceptional change with people. And the thing is, you facilitate a safe space and time and place for someone to heal and move along themselves. So they're actually doing the work. You holding space for them and looking after them while they do it, basically. So yeah, the stage hypnosis, I had the opportunity to do a stage show many years after I did the training. I had a phone call after I'd just been doing a day's work in the clinic, and someone asked me if I'd put on a stage show. And normally I would have said no, but I'd had some hypnosis myself and found myself going yes. And I turned up on the day. It was a family birthday party. It was quite funny. I had permission from the parents and children before I went ahead with the show, and I told them that I come from a healing background, so we would just be having some good wholesome fun. And boy, did we have some good wholesome fun, which I usually let my clients know about when I work with them before we start, just to ensure that they're comfortable and aware that they're in total control. It is very safe, very beneficial, and they'll probably do it the very best way that they're able to do it with their subconscious. So even though I give direct suggestions, Paul, they don't always do what I say. They do what is for the best for them. So that's amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's with this podcast, when I ask questions, people don't always answer how I anticipate they'll answer, which is part of the beauty of the podcast.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So then, who else did you train with?
I was so fortunate. I moved to New Zealand in around the year 2002. In 2007, I worked with that lovely stage hypnotist in Las Vegas, and then I came home to New Zealand and worked with Grant Boddington and the New Zealand Hypnotic Association. That was incredible. Then I started working. I was helping people stop smoking, lose weight, rid anxiety, having the loveliest time. Although it's quite funny because when you ask what hypnosis is, it is a little bit difficult to explain, and it's better to experience it. And a lot of people have preconceptions of the fact that you're just out cold. So you can do an amazing session, but if if their conscious mind is listening in, then they're a little bit wary of if the change is made. And one story that comes to mind is I was out of town and I explained hypnosis, how I'm trying to explain it to you. And I went ahead with the sessions, and the first person had smoked for 40 years through bypass surgery. They got out of my seat and they were free. They got back to me years later, they still had never picked a smoke up from that session. The second lady I'd hypnotised was actually a nurse and very analytical thinker. And so I did the session. She wanted to stop biting her nails. She'd bit them critically for like 25 years. Yeah. She hopped out of the seat and threw some payment at me. And as she was leaving, I went, see how you go? You might need another session, but I think you're good. And 8 weeks later to the day, she emailed me. She said, I've stopped biting my nails. that day I saw you, I didn't think I was hypnotised. Well, she started off with, I don't think I was hypnotised, but I haven't bitten my nails since we did that session. And so I emailed her back and said, well, that was the important thing, that you wanted to stop biting your nails. And then I had hypnotised a lady for weight losses as well after that. Some of my ladies and gentlemen as well that have done hypnosis for weight loss have gone away and rid themselves of a stone in weight. It's been incredible, just by that mindset change. So that's been pretty cool. But yes, explaining about the levels and the deepness of hypnosis can be easier if experienced, really. Yeah.
Easier to be there.
Easier to be there. And because of that led me on to coming back to Australia. So I've worked with a couple of very well-known hypnotists in Western Australia. I also worked with Dolores Cannon. I'm so excited. I was a little bit... I'm looking for the word. Ignorant is one word. I'd like a better word than ignorant, but I was a little bit ignorant back in the day about how famous and very special this lady was. But I signed up to her course on the recommendation of a friend and was just absolutely amazed at what she achieved with past life regression, which is a different form of hypnosis. And it was incredible to learn about past life regression with her. And she always said that was just the tip of the iceberg again, and that the real work was in the change work. And that's where I do a lot of the real work, I feel, in the change work. But that was a blessing working with her. Then I worked with Marco Perrault from France. He did mesmer hypnosis, which is a combination of energy and mind work. That was pretty incredible. That was in 2011, I think. In actual fact, I am also a Reiki master, and so I teach Reiki. I have done for forever. And when I was in New Zealand, I used to teach a lot of reflexologists Reiki because they had to upskill to stay in their association. And so I was very blessed and very honoured to help them get their hours up to stay skilled. And that's why I chose to train with all the hypnotists, like on my own and off my own back, so that I could get the knowledge, I guess, and be confident in what I did. So I chose to train with people from all over the world for about 7 years, and then I just settled into work again, I guess. Yeah.
And nowadays you're working out of Binningup, is that right?
Yes, these days I'm working out of Binningup, and I teach Reiki still, and I do the hypnosis sessions, Reiki sessions, reading, and I sell my books from there too.
So what does it mean to you, your family, or the community that you're able to be a hypnotist?
Oh, it means the world to me, personally, to be a hypnotist, to witness all the wonderful change from 4-year-olds to 80-year-olds, and being able to facilitate that self-healing and that confidence and well-being. To my family, I am very grateful because they've watched me and supported me all the way through, to my husband especially. He's enabled me to follow a passion and a career that would have been a little bit harder if I'd been doing it on my own. Although having said that too, I've offset it, my work, my passion, with different day jobs, which has been a great grounding and balance into helping people that have day jobs. It's a good thing, yeah. To me and to the community I work with, I know through feedback it's been very beneficial. So I feel very blessed to continue to do that, yeah.
You can see the benefits. You've talked about some of the benefits people might get from coming along. So people are coming back to you and saying that's really...
Absolutely. So in the early days, I used to have these lovely feedback sheets to critique my work in the sessions and their work in the sessions, and that was really good. And then as time has gone on and we've got social media and websites and everything else, then again, I've been lucky enough to have a lot of feedback from different clients. I think one of the nicest things that happened of recent is 2 years ago I went back to New Zealand for a bit of a working holiday, and I actually advertised that I would be back and if there was any interest to get in touch. And Paula ended up doing 13 or 14 sessions, and I actually was staying at a place, so I just did a couple of days where I specifically did sessions back to back. And I was very excited about working over there as usual. And so I booked them just for an hour apart. And to do a good hypnosis session, you need an hour and a half to explain it and then do the session. It turned out that 11 out of the 12 people that I saw that day, the clients, had all been to me over the years, many years before, achieved what they wanted to achieve in that session and had come back just for a different reason or a top-up of wellbeing. It was incredible. So that was a nice affirmation that this really does work. It is very beneficial.
The people who know, they know.
They do. That's a good way to put it. The people that know, they do. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything more that you would like to say about being a hypnotist?
I would just like to say again, thank you for having me on the podcast to share about hypnosis. I would encourage anyone who would like to know a little bit more about hypnosis to give me a call. I'm always happy for a chat, as you've well discovered, and especially about the benefits of energy and hypnosis work. So, yes, please just give me a call. I'm sure you'll have details on the podcast of how to get hold of me.
I'll put a link into the show notes.
That'd be fantastic.
So thank you very much, Gaye, for being on Forest.chat. And all Forest.chat listeners wish you all the best with your future endeavours.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the opportunity. That was been amazing. Thank you.
It's much appreciated. Great to have you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Forest.chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul van der May, and in today's episode, we've been talking with Gaye McBride about being a hypnotist. Remember, there are 4 ways to get involved with Forest.chat. Share the domain Forest.chat with your friends and family and people you meet. If you want to listen to the episodes, go to forest.chat/episodes. If you do something interesting or something you think other people may find interesting, book an interview at forest.chat/interview. If you want to support a small business, book an advert at forest.chat/advert. I'm looking forward to joining you with our next guest. Until then, enjoy making it happen.